The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. How will I get out of the jungle? Everybody wanna stop me. 10 more steps up the mountain. Now everybody's looking for me. Spend my life in the desert till something changed inside of me. Now I'm flying over oceans. Everybody looking at me. I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Full power, get louder. I'ma get stronger, just watch me. Full power, get louder. I'ma get stronger, just watch me. Every hour, no doubter. Gonna hear my song, just watch me. Every hour, no doubter. I can run this town. Somebody give me the key. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. No more doubt about me. Oh, I can run this town. Don't you know I got the
Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes. And you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, yeah, you like it, the way you like it now. Yeah, you like it, the way you like it. Oh, so good, so fresh. Get up on your feet. Show me you got soul. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
Hello and welcome back, wonderful people. We've got some more ESL Challenger League Season 50 OCE Cup 3 action for you guys. And I am super excited to be here with the one, the only Elfish guy for my inaugural cast. How are you this fine afternoon, evening for you, I believe?
It's evening. Yeah, it's evening now. It's 7 p.m. here. Local time, obviously. Oceania show. So, yeah, feeling good. I think this is going to be an interesting match. Obviously, we've seen a few iterations of Rooster versus Fury over the past sort of couple of weeks. Rooster just coming back from ESL Pro League as well. Going to be quite eager to see what they've been cooking up when they haven't been working and doing my job for me as a commentator. Because, look, to be fair, they didn't have such a great time over at ESL Pro League, but at least they got to have a little crack at the casting, and now they know it's a little bit more difficult than they like to make it out to be. But we'll see how they go in the server today. I think it should be a pretty comfortable win for them. We'll see.
Yeah, I was pretty excited when I saw that. I woke up, I logged onto Twitter, I saw the announcement that Rooster was taking over the whole production team, and I was like, you know what? I like it a lot. But you're right, it wasn't the best showing, but they did get the opportunity to go toe-to-toe with some of the best in the world. And whilst the showing wasn't amazing, there were still glimmers of silver linings in there. And as you said, stuff that they can bring back here and use in the region, and hopefully infuse that knowledge back into the teams that they're playing up against. They've played Rooster a couple of times recently, and all things considered, it's gone very well for them. It feels like Rooster and it feels like they're one of the only teams in this region that's making a little bit of their voice heard recently. And they're actually in the lower bracket here, but not because of a loss, but because of a forfeit loss due to being at Pro League. So lower bracket run coming on through here. But you and I were talking, I don't think you're too worried necessarily about this, are you?
No, definitely not. So that forfeit loss was that game against Animus Victoria, which was obviously, as you can see up there, at the very start of the upper bracket, and they've obviously made the run all the way through. They've beaten KZG, they've beaten Ground Zero. These are teams that they should be expecting to beat. It's probably a little bit unfortunate for Ground Zero as far as they're concerned to be facing Rooster this early in the lower bracket. I think typically you'd probably be expecting Rooster to be in Mindfreak's position here, playing in that upper bracket final. Ground Zero doing what Rooster's kind of doing down here in the lower bracket, trying to make that run in and probably taking a third place spot here in this cup, just in terms of like a power ranking of where the Oceanic teams are situated at the moment. But because of that forfeit, which was as a result of Rooster still traveling back from ESL Pro League, they obviously are having to make that lower bracket run, and so that's kind of thrown this bracket into a bit of a goofy state. Mindfreak tomorrow going to be getting the chance to take on Semperfi. That's going to be a very tough game for them. But, you know, it's always nice to kind of test yourself against the best, and at the moment, Semperfi definitely are the best in Oceania, and that is something that we have to kind of consider here as well. We're now 2 cups deep in OCE. This is now cup number 3. Semperfi have won both of the previous cups. If they continue to do that, if they win all 4 cups, they will just get that direct invite straight to the next season of ESL Pro League. There won't be an Oceania playoffs, and I feel like that's a very reasonable expectation at this point, right? Semperfi, for the most part, have kind of just been winning everything in OCE. So unless Rooster goes on a bit of a tear here in cup number 3 or cup number 4, similar to what we kind of saw from them at Extreme Zone qualifiers, maybe, realistically speaking, it is going to be Semperfi that's going to run away with all of those spots at ESL Pro League, let's say. And unfortunately, it will mean less OCE games, which is kind of unfortunate, right? If at least we get a couple more games out of this ESL Challenger League season, that would be quite nice. But
exactly, yeah.
It's up to Rooster.
And the thing is, even if Rooster does win a cup, then they'll be put into a match versus Semperfi again just for that spot. And they've won so many times. There's no reason really to believe that if there is a playoff bracket, albeit a playoff bracket of 2, that it would be too much different. Last time that these 2 teams played was, I believe, the 9th of September. It's just about a month ago. Did actually end up going all 3 maps with that train being conceded. But we were speaking about the veto here. The veto is very punishing against Fury, right? There's not many places that they can take the veto that Rooster doesn't have a serious number of official reps on and doesn't have a seriously high win rate on either. That train, maybe they try and swindle that again, but Rooster, I have a feeling that was a disrespect they won't let go, and that train will have been tightened up a little bit since their last confrontation over a month ago.
Yeah, you would hope so. I mean, it's a bit unfortunate for Fury that their permaban is Mirage, because it's not really a map that, like, while Rooster does play Mirage, they don't typically tend to angle towards it all that often. It's not a map that they're like super enthusiastic to get onto, so it would be ideal if Fury could ban out Overpass. That has been very much the go-to for Rooster. You would have obviously seen that over at ESL Pro League, was clearly the map that they had the most success on, even amongst the all the losses. We do get the Mirage ban and then the Ancient ban, so those are very much the expected perma vetoes out of these two teams. Train as the pick, you've obviously mentioned that one as well, so no real surprises here as we're about to get an Overpass pick from Rooster, and that is also very much in line with expectations. And as far as deciding maps are concerned, well, probably not expecting to need it, but Nuke was the deciding map in the last matchup, and I wouldn't be too surprised to see us go in that direction.
Yep.
Again, Inferno banned away there, and so Nuke will be the decider. But I tend to echo your thoughts in that, look, I think there's a chance here for Fury on Train. They've obviously set the precedent a few weeks ago that they were able to beat Rooster on that map, but realistically speaking, this should be a 2-0. Train is a map that Rooster does play. They have quite a number of reps on it. And I think in that particular instance, it was probably just Rooster having a pretty average day by the looks of things. Let me have a quick look at the numbers there on Train. Yeah, I mean, no one really stepping up, no one really having a great time at all on that map in particular for Rooster. And that's, usually quite unusual, particularly here domestically. So I would be expecting a 2-0 tonight.
Yeah, and as we said, they've just come back. They didn't play it over at Pro League. I feel like Train's been a map that's been quite, hit and miss with the whole professional scene here. So they won't have necessarily had anything to take away from that. But they've had over a month to have talks about it, to figure out what went wrong, where they need to go. And coming into this matchup, probably expected the veto to align pretty similarly. Even if they do concede that first map, the rest of the veto looks so strong for them. But I have a feeling they've been ramping up a little bit recently, and that a victory on Train here would just sort of cement that sentiment, really.
Yeah, look, I think, to be honest, this is kind of like not do or die time necessarily for Rooster, but like now's the time to really strike while the iron is hot. You've just come back from ESL Pro League. You've just beaten Semperfi in the Extreme Zone qualifier, which for the uninitiated is perhaps one of the more important qualifiers that we have here in Oceania and in Asia in general in that tier 2 space, right? Getting the opportunity to go and play at Extreme Land is something that Semperfi definitely would have wanted. And it's, I think, going to be Rooster's first appearance at an Asia-based event in a number of years. So they've been able to sort of take that scalp away from Semperfi, and they haven't really been able to convert that into anything else. They haven't been able to beat them in a CCT final. They haven't been able to beat them in an ESL Challenger League, or a ESL Challenger Cup final, I should say. So really, that's kind of the thing for Rooster now. You've just come back from overseas. You've had that, that test, that little bit of a boot camp, I guess, in a sense that you've been able to play and scrim against better competition. And Semperfi have looked a little bit susceptible of late. So let's come into this cup of ESL Challenger League. And like I said, really strike while the iron is hot. Do some real damage. Obviously beat Fury today. Probably beat Mind Freak in the lower bracket final, and then go up to the grand final against Semperfi and bring your A game and actually take one of these cups. Otherwise, your opportunity to go to that next ESL Pro League is definitely in doubt at this stage.
Yeah, they're dwindling. And I think it's important. You say that there was a victory versus Semperfi. It needs to be proof that that's laying the foundations for the team to continue to grow, not just a one-off sort of blip. That, yes, they haven't been able to build anything more of it just yet. Maybe, they get to play each other again in the finals of this. And even if it isn't, but we need to see that it definitely was laying the groundworks for more to come, and that we aren't just sort of stagnating with this team. Because the roster hasn't really changed much. They've had the same core for over 3 years now, I think, at this point. And you want to see that even though there's been a couple of changes, they brought in Terry in July, I think it was, that there isn't this stagnation, that they're not a team that's kind of reached their ceiling, and that they'll always be second in the region. You want to see them pushing, and you want to see the fact that they've gone to Pro League, that they have taken a series, albeit only one off of Semperfi. You need to see that this is the start of more coming.
Well, the unfortunate reality for Rooster is that they've kind of always been searching for that fifth. And this was even going back to the time when Nedic was on the team, right? When Nedic was there, it was Chell, ASAP, Nedic was kind of the core, and it took them quite a while to like find a proper solid fifth that really felt like, or even in that case, a fourth, let's say, that was up to the caliber of those players. And then TJP kind of came along, and it took a little bit to integrate him, but once he found his feet, he has now become one of the core players, obviously, of this Rooster outfit. And that was looking great for a little while. And, Nedic then got picked up and got taken overseas. And, they were still kind of like cycling through players for that position that Slimy's in as well. So it's taken a long, long time for Rooster to even get an entire roster of players that kind of feel like they're on that same level. We've kind of got to the point where, TJP's now come in. Slimy, obviously, another more sort of recent addition into that lineup. But once Slimy comes in, that's when Nedic departs, and you're kind of still kind of like, well, we've just found our fifth, which was Slimy. Like he's integrated into this lineup. He's found his feet amongst all the players that we've tried. Like, but believe me, there's this like rotating door policy of Rooster players that kind of came in and came out very quickly. They don't often last, but TJP and Slimy did last, and then Nedic left, and it was like, well, now we have to replace Nedic, which was our star player, and that's not an easy task, right? So even that Terry has come in here and he's been okay, you have such big shoes to fill trying to replace a player like Nedic that for Rooster, it does feel like it's kind of like it's a series of unfortunate events if you're familiar with that series. Like when you finally feel like you've got it going, it just doesn't quite manage to hit that level. And that's, I think, what we kind of saw for Rooster when they played at ESL Pro League, right? I don't think we can make any secrets about the fact that Terry did struggle a little bit. It was his first big international tournament. And when you're looking at Nedic versus Terry, and what Nedic was able to do for this roster versus what Terry has been able to do for this roster, it's kind of comparing apples to oranges. And that's not necessarily like a gripe with Terry. Like, I'm not trying to beat down on Terry. I'm a big fan of Terry, actually. It's just that, trying to replace a player like Nedic is going to take quite a bit of time. It's going to take him certainly, a bit of work to kind of like reach the level that the rest of these Rooster guys have been competing at for, like you said, the better part of 2-3 years they've been at core. So it's just about integrating that and trying to figure out where you've got that core five. And yeah, it just takes time, I suppose, and just kind of hoping that this is going to be that lineup that actually makes that happen, and hopefully it can happen in this Cup of ECL.
Maybe I'm throwing you under the bus here, but I'm going to throw you a curveball question, and you can just tell me to leave right now if you want. But if you wanted to choose a fifth, if you were to say, I think this could be the missing piece, who would you try slotting into that roster then?
For Rooster, I mean, look, the thing is, to be honest, I was kind of happy to see Terry come into this roster. I think he was certainly someone that was doing quite well domestically. He used to play in a team that was called Art of War, or Only One Word. They changed their name at one point. And, he was, I thought, one of the standout players on that lineup. And I thought he was someone that kind of deserved the opportunity to kind of like step up, let's say, into one of the better Oceanic teams. So I'm actually not disappointed to see Terry there. And I don't know that there's necessarily many better options. The unfortunate reality is that in Oceania right now, we don't have a great talent pipeline, right? Like there are new players kind of coming through in some instances. Like we've got like these Mind Freak rosters that are constantly kind of sort of cycling through some new players. You've got a couple of names like the Luxes and the KZGs. There's a couple of new names that are sort of floating around, but none that have like stood out in the way that you'd need them to sort of say, oh, let's put that guy in Rooster, if that makes sense. So your options are fairly limited in either players that we're quite familiar with, of which Terry was one, but just hadn't had the opportunity to kind of compete at that level, or someone that's extremely experienced and you kind of know what you're going to get, and that's kind of what you would look at, maybe the Ground Zero lineup or even some of these Fury players. Like you kind of know what you're going to get from these players. Like we've seen them for like 5, 10, in some cases 10 years. Some of these players have been playing for 10 years, and you're like, well, are we really going to take a gamble on the guy that's been playing tier 2 OCS for 10 years and hasn't really found the ability to kind of like hit another level? Probably not. Like probably that guy's not going to hit at the age of 30 years old a new level to be a better player. Like we kind of get an idea of where he's at. So you're going to go for someone like a Terry who's been around but hasn't really had that opportunity necessarily to step up, or you're going to go for someone that's completely fresh. But of the players that are completely fresh, there hasn't been anyone that's like really, been as exciting as you would need them to be. So yeah, I know that's a long answer. Obviously, we've got some time. We're dealing with some AC issues at the moment. So trying to figure that out, trying to work through that. But like if I would have to pick someone that wasn't in the lineup now that I had like literally I had to make a change to Rooster, or like I'd have to take someone out and I'd have to put someone in. That's a very tough ask. Like
I know I was going to say I threw you under the bus a little with that one. Yeah,
unless you're saying like you could take someone from Semperfire, like I think you could, which obviously you couldn't, but that would be the obvious choice. Like you'd probably take an Addict or a Hazard maybe and put them in for like a Slimy or a Terry, to be honest. But aside from that, like I don't think you have an AWP upgrade over Chell in Oceania at the moment. I think ASAP and TJP are pretty irreplaceable as far as I'm concerned in this lineup. So you'd be looking for a Terry or a Slimy as a replacement. But realistically speaking, of the riflers that are available in Oceania at the moment, it's probably like Shady, which is not an Australian player, obviously. He's an import. So maybe that's like a caveat that we can cut him off and say we're not allowed to use him because he's an import.
Okay, yeah.
So you're thinking like Hazard, Addict, maybe. I feel like Savage would be a side grade personally. Looking at Ground Zero, APOC does in that position where we've seen what we get out from him. I don't know how much time he necessarily has to dedicate to the game because he's getting a little bit older, but maybe he's an angle. But then again, the other thing is that you have to think about with regard to Rooster is how do they, what's the word? As a team, how do they get along with a lot of these players? Rooster's always been a bit notorious for being a little bit of a cliquey kind of a team. They have their group, they have their crew, they have their thing, but they haven't often intermingled with a lot of the other teams in some cases. So maybe someone like Vision might be a good shout. He's quite young. He had a little bit of a stint in Semperfy. I don't know. There's a few options, but I'm kind of happy with where Rooster's at the moment. I just want to see them kind of like hit that level.
Now, I believe we are experiencing a couple more tech issues. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw to a break, make sure that everything's looking all nice and polished for you guys. And we'll be back very soon with Train.
I'll keep going till my feet become blown. I'll keep going till my feet become blown. I'll keep going till my feet become blown. I'll keep going till my till my feet become. I'll keep going till my feet become blown. Till my speaker come. I'll keep going till my speaker come blown. I'll keep going till my speaker come blown. I'll keep going till my speaker come blown. I'll keep going till my speaker come blown.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been tested so much, all these wrestlers nice. All these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a Benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of all my feet when I touch the ground. Front of 8 at Beijing, man, they know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and roll, Lex account a blue face. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brother since 6th grade. G-Wagon, red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, acting like the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on a better days. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When it down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life.
Welcome back on in. It's time for Train. It has been a little bit of a delayed start here between Rooster and Fury, but looks like we are pretty much ready to get underway. So we appreciate your patience. We've got an interesting matchup here tonight. Affinity on the cast with me as well. First time casting Oceanic Counter-Strike. As of yet, you haven't actually cast any Oceanic Counter-Strike, but it has been the full OCE experience so far today.
I've casted a tiny bit of OCE women's scene. But that was minute, and that was ages ago. I have never been anywhere close to the OCE Challenger League, so I'm excited. I've heard good things. I've heard, it's a very fun region. That's what I've heard from everyone else, is that this region's got a lot of personality, and I'm hoping that we get to see that in the server a little bit today.
Me too. I would say it's goofy sometimes. Would probably be the takeaway for me.
I like a little bit of goofy.
We'll see what we get tonight. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's a bit less chaotic than Asia. I feel like Asia's the most chaotic. Although I don't get the opportunity to cast like tier 2 Europe or like I feel like the Eastern European teams probably kind of bring that same sort of similar energy. But yeah, Oceania, I feel like generally they try. They try to play the way that you're supposed to play. It just doesn't always come off that way.
Yeah, and I think every region has its own sort of unique and individual flair. Asia can be quite hit and miss with how goofy they are, how crazy it is. I've heard the absolute anarchy raining down here in the OCE region, which I'm super excited for. North America, there's a lot that can be said for the North American region. There's some teams that have actually been really impressing me recently. There's some teams that I think have a little bit too much fun sometimes, too much work, not enough play. But I love all of it equally, because it's really cool to see this sort of unique blend that you get. I have the opportunity to hop around regions a lot. They'll go, right, God, which caster is crazy enough to want to do like OCE and North America on the same day? Cool, send in Affinity. So I've been really lucky actually to get to witness a little bit of everything this season.
Well, it looks like you're not going to be witnessing some Counter-Strike, at least for the moment. As you can see, if you've got a keener set of eyes, the Rooster scoreline has now gone 1-0. We've just passed the quarter past, so 19:15, 7:15 p.m. here in Oceania, and teams get 15 minutes to get in the server, and unfortunately it seems like Fury haven't managed to make it for the first map, so assuming that the graphic there is correct, it is Fury that have forfeited that first map. Somebody's forfeited the first map. I haven't got a guaranteed confirmation.
That's a problem if it's
forfeited.
Fury, though. That's the
It's a big
problem, because Train was our question mark, right? Train was they've beaten them before, we think Rooster's probably tightened up a little bit, but Train was the map that really was going to give them any chance to get a leg up in this series. And if it is, then that's going to be a slight problem, because suddenly they're going on to Rooster's map pick where they've looked so good. So we'll get confirmation 100% soon, but we might end up maybe going back to a little bit of break soon. We'll find out, because I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if they get another 15 minutes or whether there's a little bit of a closer cutoff, but one of these teams is in trouble.
I believe it's 15 minutes per map. So
Ooh, okay.
we've probably got another 9-10 minutes until the entire series is forfeit if they don't get in. But if they do get in, then we'll play Overpass. And I mean, like you said, that looks pretty grim here for Fury. Not really too much more to say about it, to be honest. At this point, it seems like we may have a chance we're not going to get a game of Counter-Strike the way things are going at this point. I think, typically, in my experience, if you're not able to get in the server in 21 minutes, generally,
Not happening.
you're probably not going to get in 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, that problem is too big to fix at that point, unfortunately. So, yeah, it's not just going to be a simple case of, restart the internet or restart the PC or something like that. There's clearly something a little bit more going on here.
I've got to ask you, whilst we wait for further confirmation, because we've both talked about tech issues, and it happens a lot. It feels like it happens a lot recently. Challenger League is cursed for them, right? No, nothing to do with ESL. It just seems like when it's Challenger League time, everything breaks. What is the weirdest issue that you've had for a tech issue? Weirdest pause that there's been?
I think there was one instance where, and I don't recall if this was during a cast that I was doing, but there was one instance where I know the Ins had to take a pause because there was a snake under his desk.
Oh.
I don't recall if that was in a real, in an official or anything like that, but I just remember there being a story about Ins having a snake under his desk while he was playing CS, whether it was a pug or whether it was in an official. I can't really recall, but that's probably the one that springs to mind.
That's the most OC ever.
Actually, the other one, no, the actual one.
Okay,
this is the real
sorry.
one. Now that I've had some time to think, the real pause that was the most dramatic pause of all time was the Forsaken incident, Word.exe. I was casting that game.
Yes, you were.
And we just got told to go to a break, and we went to a break, and then 40 minutes later, it was like,
History making.
this guy got caught cheating on LAN. It was like, oh, okay.
That's a little bit of an... I can't top that one. But nothing quite that interesting. We're going to head back to another break, and we'll be back very shortly to find out how this series is going to go.
The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. How will I get out of the jungle? Everybody wanna stop me. 10 more steps up the mountain. Now everybody's looking for me. Spend my life in the desert till something changed inside of me. Now I'm flying over oceans. Everybody looking at me. I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Full power, get louder. I'ma get strong, just watch me. Full power, get louder. I'ma get strong, just watch me. Every hour, no doubter. Gonna hear my song, just watch me. Every hour, no doubter.
Welcome back, wonderful people. Sorry for the break, but we do have a match ready for you. I pinky promise on this one. We've been told it's waiting in the rings and ready, and it's going to be overpass. Now, the issue that we have here, forfeit win, I believe, for Rooster in map number 1, which was Fury's map pick, and the only map that we had some questions about how this was going to go. This could be a very quick set of affairs here. If Rooster get a strong start, it's going to be difficult for Fury to find their footing in this series, even as weird as that is to say.
Yes, no, that's a good way to put it. Last time they played on Overpass, it was 13-5, favoring Rooster. It is their go-to map. It's their best map. They have had a lot of experience on it over the last few months, and even now coming back from getting the opportunity to play it a few times internationally to, I would say, limited success, although they had a few close maps on Overpass, which was kind of nice to see. So I think Rooster will have more than enough to wrap things up here in this game against Fury. But Fury getting to start on CT side, you would think normally that that's going to be a positive, but
Normally.
Rooster's generally pretty decent on the T side here. So I guess we'll wait and see how things go when we do get underway with this pistol round. Pretty standard stuff by the looks of things here from Rooster. Typically, you are going to see Chell with that P250. He's a bit of a pistol demon. Slimy with the smoke and the flash. So nothing really of note there necessarily. But maybe we've got a couple of issues still. I'm not sure.
I hear a little bit of clicking. I hear some clicks. The pistol round I think is going to be interesting. Rooster's overpass pistols tend to be very strong. And as you said, they're a team that ever so slightly leans into that T side. They've got a very slight T side win advantage here. On a map like Overpass, you'd expect it to be CT-sided. The whole game's kind of feeling less and less so at the moment. But here we go, finally into the game, into the pistol round here. And straight over towards the B side, heavy lean. ASAP gonna have some problems in connector. No backup here, has to do this solo.
I think this is pretty routine so far from Rooster. ASAP waiting patiently. Will get his head knocked off by Reckons, so not a terrible start to the pistol here for Fury, despite losing that opening player. But just looking at the setup from Rooster, again, it's very, very standard. You know, you've got all these players very comfortable with their positions. ASAP is the guy that's going to be in connector. Chell's going to be the one that's floating around bathrooms. TJP outside monster. It's all standard stuff. Fury seems like pretty aware of that as well. They've been doing their research and they just pop flash their way out of the monster tunnel and look to essentially clean this up. So again, not too much experimentation or changing anything up necessarily from Rooster. A very standard pistol round out from them, and Fury clearly had a bit of an idea and were able to take advantage of that.
So just as soon as I sung the praises of the pistols, immediately goes wrong. But yeah, I think, as you said, homework's done, looked pretty good there, and very clean as well as the big one. Is minimal casualties there. Means that they've completely denied any opportunity, any cash flow for there to be any sort of a buy coming into this. Terry's got a deagle, but that is the only thing that they have got going for them in this. No Kevlar, no utility. It is all going to be riding on whether Terry can hit some crispy shots, maybe steal away a weapon.
Wishful thinking, I'd suggest. But he is set up at Playground. We'll see if he's going to be able to do any skedaddling. Doesn't really look like it at the moment. Do have a little bit of a forward hold coming through from Fury. So just Cookie and Reckons, I think it is, next to him there. It is Reckons, yep.
I believe so, yeah.
Keeping an eye on things. So far, so good. There's Terry down, by the way. So Deagle will get cycled in the hands of TJP. He gets to have his turn.
Trying to overwhelm Cookie here. They do run on out, but unfortunately, just not going to outplay these. And then there's even more danger. ASAP stuck in connector between a rock and a hard place. And oh, we've got body shooting going on already. It is round 2. Is this an O special that I can expect a little bit more of?
Yeah, probably. I don't think anyone's really overthinking it, to be honest. It's honestly not even something that I notice at this point. I don't know if it's like really taboo internationally, but I think everyone kind of knows everyone here in OCE, and it's just
a little bit fun.
What it is. We don't read into it, you know what I mean? Like, it's just whatever.
I like that. Laissez-faire.
Yeah.
Okay, round number 3. Guns finally in the hands of Rooster. Very slow little poke and prod up in towards connect, over towards A. Taking their sweet time with it though.
Yeah, very patient approach so far from Rooster in this first gun round, which is typically what you're going to get from them. They are a pretty slow team on the T side. They like to take their time about things, but Terry's actually swindled his way quite nicely all the way up to the A side, and that's actually a little bit of a faster progression on a contact play than what Fury were expecting. That's worked out really nicely for Rooster, and it probably just wins them the round here. I don't think Fury want to go for this retake.
I don't think they do either. They've got way too much to lose here. The smoke's going out, and there's still more available to them as well. They've got no foothold. They've got no line of sight anywhere, and they don't have any map control further back. There's no flank. There's nobody connector to try and give this another angle. Maybe they throw a little bit of util over, just try bait anything out that they can. If they can get rid of some more of those smokes, it just means that Rooster has a little bit more they have to buy. But I think you're right. Cool to save early on, and I think it might have been the right move there, but they're not going to be able to do that very often. They're not going to be able to, at the first sign of danger on the site, immediately back away. So that heavy B stack, it's going to cause problems if they continue leaning on that.
Yeah, I mean, saying that, that's just a little bit of a scissors, paper, rock type situation, right? Where,
yeah,
like you said, you've got the extra players down towards B. You've, in a sense, kind of given A control over. And unluckily for you, Rooster have, in this instance, decided, yeah, we're going to do the exact play that's going to cook your setup. So good call from Chell there, from Rooster. But it might not be that easy for the majority of this T side. That said, I'd be happy to get that first gun round in the back pocket, do it without loss as well, or without too much loss, and start to build that T economy up as well, and feeling comfortable about things as they head into round number 4.
Before we got the AWP out for Cookie, and I'm excited to have a look. Again, over towards this B site, lines up the first shot, clear as day. Wants to open the door. Oh, second, it's a near miss, but ASAP, on the tip of his toes, has to be oh so wary. TJP gonna have some trouble. One face first into him, it's a little bit messy, and they don't clear him. TJP gets a second. Actually, I say that, Chell stole away the first kill there somehow. Now lining up for the next, it's going to be another peek, another player taken down. Cookie goes down. Now 2 versus 3, and they've got all attention here, but one by one they peek the same angle, and they'll be toppled just as such.
Yeah, got to be a little bit more prepared for TJP in that that corner. He loves sitting in that position. Nice shot through from Reckons, and grenade not going to do enough. Doesn't quite land close enough to Slimy, but there is one in response. It'll tag. Reckons down to 69 HP. He's going to have to try and convert this one on his own. Very low HP on Slimy, but covered off well by ASAP. And scoreline goes 2-2. A little bit touch and go that round. I like what Fury are up to in that, you know, they're trying to sort of make something happen, but the fact that TJP gets away with what he did kind of ends up being the turning point in that round. So now it's starting to get a little bit spotty here for Fury on the economic front. Cookie's got the orb, which is nice because he's been playing pretty well so far. 5-1. Nice aggressive move out from him into short water in that last round, and see if he gets up to some shenanigans once again here. It looks like he's going to go for a peek at Party.
Very curious to see if anyone's even going to give him the time of day with this. TJP, we talked about him being a menace in this quadrant of the map. Cookie, super aggressive position, just about misses Slimy there. Ships in the night, and it's just going to fall back, re-bolster the site. They've had a lot of footsteps over down towards B, so a bit more attention being moved over here. TJP worried about the flame spreading, but actually looks safe for now. There it is, just a tag at the end. It's going to alert Skull Hunter. Move has to be made now.
Skull Hunter looking for that move is unfortunately going to find that he is on the receiving end of a Skull Hunter. That's a headshot through from TJP that opens this round up. And again, like I said, Rooster tend to be a pretty slow-paced team. They'll find that pick, they'll slow things back down, they'll explore the rest of the map, and they'll hit the site with 30, 20 seconds left. And that's exactly what we're going to get. So this is a quintessential Rooster round.
Very VP-esque, it feels.
It is. It is. Funny that you should say that because that Jame VP or Outsiders lineup was the team that Rooster very much emulated the playbook of a few years ago. So there's a lot of influence from that calling style with the way that Chell calls the game here for Rooster.
For better or for worse, I'd say on that one.
Yes.
Okay. Bomb goes down. There's no utility for a retake. Health bar on Cookie is not immaculate either, and the money is going to be even less. So this is just going to be an immediate call to save. There's enough money in the bank that they can set a couple of these players hunting ASAP, I'd imagine. Wants a little taste of a few more frags on the tip of his tongue, but whether they'll be allowed anything, it's a pretty solid save hold here down on B. TJP looking to try break something. Footsteps heard, she's going to spam through the woods, and actually there's a lot committed to this. Cookie is going to take down the first, and that should be everyone else calling just to peel back. Let them have it. Let them keep their measly consolidation prize.
It doesn't really seem like Rooster are having too many difficulties now that they've got the guns in their hands. So probably not too concerned about whether or not Fury are running around with a couple of saved weapons. Realistically, these three gun rounds have been quite smooth sailing. Shell's barely had to get involved. 1 and 4 on the AWP. I mean, he's typically a big driving force behind this lineup. Yeah, it's actually kind of crazy that Rooster are up 3 and 2, but every single one of their players is a negative KD.
Yeah, it's very much been, as you said, lean into that style of play, very Jame driven and inspired. Means that they just don't end up taking that many fights. They just leave it until it's too late for anything to be done. Opening duel here. ASAP gonna go down. Connector has been a little bit of a linchpin that Fury have been able to abuse, but the issue is now that they've got all of that control, they split these two teams up onto islands. Can they actually capitalize off the back of this?
That'll be the big question mark. Bill's floating around with the bomb, so just have to keep an eye on where that bomb ends up. It does look like it's transitioning its way back down towards B. That may be heard by Reckons. Probably has been heard by Reckons. Slimy stomping around. And so you can see again that the bulk of the force from Fury is still down towards this B side of the map. I think unless Chell gets some work done here up at A, this is going to be a pretty easily red round for Fury.
Yeah, they've not got a whole lot of map control. I mean, you've got Cheeseball, who's heard absolutely nothing this entire time. And there's another peek. Chell goes down, AWP in the hands, and almost the perfect angle for it. Trying to back away is not quite going to be punished. Terry tried to get a line of sight in on this. Molotov's going to try flush him out. They really want the pick, but actually, tension's just immediately diverted off the back of TJP, finding a pick. Cookie low HP, gets another, finds even more, and now it's just an absolute massacre. Slimy left alone, sidearms pulled out. He has a little bit of a window here, but the issue is Weapons is nearby and doesn't want to let that stand. HE to go over, and what a round for Fury to secure there.
Yeah, it's got a little bit silly in that one for Rooster. They actually managed to make a bit of space for themselves working up short water. So if it were not for the fact that Cookie hit a couple of nice shots, then maybe there was something in that one for them. But Cookie's always been a pretty serviceable AWPer in his time in the Oceanic CS community. He's never really been in any of the top teams necessarily, but I think he's always been someone that, you know, he can have these games where he does sort of take a game away from his opponents, even against better teams. And so far, we've seen some pretty decent highlights from him. I would say two decent rounds out from him so far, which is exactly what you want from your AWPer on the CT side of Overpass. And we'll see if that continues. And if it does continue, then yeah, Rooster might have to put in a little bit more hard work. But this time, it seems like it's just going to be a stock standard B take. So we'll just see what the execute looks like here for Rooster, and if they can just crack the nut. And it looks like they've chosen a good time to go for it with that stack on A.
I was going to say limited reinforcements, but again, Skull Hunter with the first. He's just been a bastion. HCs go over and it's going to severely tag him on up. There's the first. Need to be careful because they haven't even checked ADK. Eventually does go down, and TJP, it looks immaculate, but Cookie's got a whole sniper's nest to work with here. Molotov to go over. HC going to be parted for him by his teammate, and he can get a little bit more here. And now the spray. The control immaculate, but now just has to find somewhere to tuck in. Cookie actually going to switch to the AWP here. Is being watched. It's so messy. And he finds the headshot all the time in the world to drop down here.
Yeah, rough spot for Chell to be in there at the back end. And a good clutch for Cookie. An important clutch just to keep the nose in front for Fury.
Absolutely wild performance from him. 11-2 in round 8. And it's the fact that we've seen him be impactful in all stages of the rounds here. So he's coming in clutch at the last second. It's quite nice he's got the HE to part open from his teammate. There isn't an HE there for that second kill. Maybe there's a little bit of an advantage. I also don't know how Chell gets that shot through the smoke. That's...
He just pulls off these kinds of kills every now and then. Normally, you would think if he gets that kill, he's going to win the round. That's normally how it goes, but not in this case. Cookie having a day. I think we also have to sort of give a bit of a shout out to Skull there being able to get the opening kill on that B bomb site, because if you remember, it was a 2-3 split with the majority of the members on A. Had that first kill not gone the way of Fury, that again is a round that just goes straight the way of Rooster. Like, they just flood the site. There's no way that Fury get across to be in time, and the player at Toxic Barrels is really going to be only good for one, you'd think. So good work from Skull to win that opening duel, and gonna have a look for another one here up short. Won't quite find it. Does have to be a little bit wary though, because we've got the 2 AKs in play here for Rooster, and they're just going to try and work some of these angles, see if they can find a fight, and that's exactly what will happen. Chell backing himself wins the duel. Now it's a 4-on-5. And this weaponry disadvantage doesn't seem quite as problematic. I'd say the bigger issue is the fact that there's no util at all for Rooster. So they're going to find it quite difficult to take some space and actually get into these sites.
Yeah, and I think the moment that you know that, the moment that you hear no more utility coming, you've kind of got an idea. You can just bunker down. You don't have to peek this. You don't have to give them the fights and the way back into this. It's going to have to be brute force and ignorance trying to get onto this site here. Chell lining up the first spots ahead on out. They don't clear the right-hand side, so Cheeseball's going to get 2. Slimy does activate in time, makes it a 2 versus 2, but the H part, we are so low, gets the first. They've spotted out Cookie as the last. Running out of bullets here, missed shot, switches over to the sidearm. Bomber's going to get planted, he drops down silently, and it's whether they were aware. ASAP adjusts perfectly, but it is a pixel finish there.
That's why they call ASAP the analyst. Actually, they don't. It's just me. I'm really trying to make it a thing. I call him the analyst.
You know what, ASAP the analyst? Oh, you've got a second person here on your side.
Yeah. And, you know, he's all over that. He doesn't, you called it correctly, silent drop, but he's pretty aware. You know, he's thinking about it. He's a smart fella. He's analysed the situation and he's dealt with it accordingly. What do they used to call ADK the Inspector as well when he went over to ESL Pro League that one time? I don't know if you remember that, but he won a few clutches back when he was in Rooster at ESL Pro League, and he was walking around the map inspecting his gun, so they used to call him the Inspector. How about Terry, the entry fragger? There's one for him as the trades come through. It's looking pretty good for Rooster.
It is. ADK, nice little tap through the smoke there. Actually wanting to take that bit of space, see if they can find something further. A quick, cheeky little flank, but actually nothing really to be found. An immediate back away. Know that this A site is under threat. Skullhunter, if you can find anything here to delay. It's a dink, but it's not quite the finishing blow. And that should just be it. ADK, I mean, you just got to hold on to this AK. It's going to be the only weapon that you have. Having a little bit of a nosy here, though. He's still inspecting.
The Inspector.
The Inspector.
Yeah.
I seem
Like
to
I said.
recall, yeah, no, I do remember this because it was a bit of a meme, and I think they were tallying
Yes.
how many times he would inspect the gun.
Yeah. Well, no clutch here, unfortunately, for ADK. But look, it hasn't been a shabby effort for Fury so far today against Rooster. I mean, I think generally speaking, you'd look at this scoreline and go, well, 4 on the CT side of Overpass is not that good when Rooster's at 5, but considering the relative strength, the power level of these two teams coming into this matchup, I think we could be happy with the fact that Fury's at least keeping Rooster honest, making them work for some of these rounds. Seems like finally we've got to that point, though, where the money's starting to really run out for Fury, and I imagine Rooster's going to actually accelerate the rest of this half, probably walk away with, 7 or 8 rounds out of this half, and that's where it starts to look a little bit more grim for Fury. We'll see if maybe Cookie can pull off some more magic, though. He's got a deagle in hand. Deserves it with the way that he's been playing so far today. And he's going to need probably 2 or 3 nice headshots out of that deagle to get anything happening in this one.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult round. Immediately falls back right onto site, is being pressured by the utility, and it's just not worth the hassle. There's no one there to trade as well, so you might as well just sit on your hands. TJP is going to get overrun here. Has to be careful, because that could be a picked up AK, but he mows down 3, and there's a 4th lining up. The only worry is if we got enough bullets for it, and yes, he does. It's clinical. The reload comes in, and it's just Cookie and that deagle. You said it's going to need a couple to find something in this round. It's going to need 5 now.
I think that's wishful thinking. I'm not even sure that they're going to give him the opportunity because they are headed in the direction of A and he's sitting down here towards B, so he's going to have to get a bit of a wriggle on if he wants to do anything.
Yeah, and now the worry is they've got that A site. Everywhere is danger. Everywhere could have somebody lurking. I mean, there's not much to take away from him. Let the poor man keep the deagle, okay? This is only earthly possession right now, but is about to walk into a whole heap of trouble. ASAP, waiting, and there it is. The pick, beautifully done. 6th round. But as you said, I think 4 rounds already, and for some of these rounds, they have kept it pretty humble, considering the last time they played on this map was 13-5. The fact that they've already got 4 is not bad at all. The fact that, Rooster is technically a slightly T-sided team in terms of win percentages on rounds, it also means that they've done enough at the moment to at least put themselves in better standing than we've seen previously.
It's something to play from. If they can maybe pull off the last couple of rounds of this half, get to 6, win the pistol, keep Rooster honest. What I think is probably a little bit more likely is that Rooster do just run away with things from here. I mean, that 13-5, it's still possible. ADK, ooh, lines up a couple. I thought TJP was going to have his number right there, but ADK against his former teammates, putting in a bit of a shift. And all of a sudden, that 8 is starting to look pretty elusive for Rooster.
They've been so good in these early rounds. They've been really aggressive. They've been finding a couple of these opening picks, and there's just been no way to spiral it back. There's been no answer as well. The trades haven't looked amazing early round from Rooster, and it's just meant that they've gone into a lot of these rounds with a huge disadvantage. Sometimes 1, sometimes 2. Slimy's got a pick of his own, but again, it's not looking particularly hopeful here. Bomb has been dropped. The smoke actually gives him a little bit of mercy to try pick him up, but where do you go from here, realistically? You've already got Reckons on the way from behind. I think Slimy has a little bit of an idea that this may be his final resting place.
Yeah, I would suspect so. Once that smoke fades, his options do become quite limited. The 1-2 punch of Cheeseball and ADK right here, and ADK will secure a very nice round for himself with 4 kills. And he'll also secure a pretty good buy in the final round of the half here for Fury. It was looking a bit touch and go for a moment, but that win is going to mean that they will at least be able to get all the guns that they could really want here and have a good opportunity to fight for 6-6. But again, 6 already is a pretty good number to find yourself at as Rooster. So even if they do end up losing this last round, it's probably not going to be a huge concern for them.
Okay, straight out in towards B. Looking again to try find an early pick, but this time it's that A side that's going to be pressured. Cookie, just misses it, just misses the timing. Goes for the repeat, finds ASAP and immediately backs away. Has support in long, trying to draw them on in. TJP is going to be feeling worse for wear after that one, but they know there's a possibility. A site is in trouble because they've left this whole mid for them to work with. Molotov means the Cookie's not really going to get a chance to try and stop this, and the site has fallen.
Yeah, missing that shot is going to be the end of Cookie and maybe the end of this round as well. Fury having to now retake 4-on-4, scrambling to get into position. The only saving grace is that Reckons is on long and they're not aware of that. They were not prepared for the double setup on long. They hadn't seen Reckons yet. He'll choose his time to strike nicely. Bring it back to a 3-on-4 smoke in on to the defuse, I imagine. Yeah, it is. Nobody can see Skull. That is the end of the half. 6-6, evenly poised as we wait for the second. We'll be back right after the break.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been tested so much, all these restless nights, all these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of all my feet when I touch the ground. Front of ain't it Beijing, man, ain't know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and roll Lex account of Blueface. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brothers since 6th grade. G-Wagon red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, I could light the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on a better days. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live his life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live his life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live his life. What's a life without sacrifice? Sometimes you gotta thank God and just roll the dice. Pacino. Uh-huh.
6-6 at the end of the first half, and we jump into the second with Rooster moving over onto the CT side. I think has to be said, Fury have been putting up a pretty decent fight, largely led by Cookie, 15-6. Jury's out as to whether or not he's going to be able to keep that up, and if he's unable to do so, can Fury continue to contend with Rooster? We'll find out as the pistol round's now underway. And it would be a nice one to pick up if you're on the T side here with Fury.
Yeah, the opening picks were pretty snazzy for Fury, and now they've got a chance to really set the pace themselves on this T side. Straight up long. Chell's going to be sat here waiting, has a little bit of support. TJP also on site with him, but a little bit of hesitancy. The pace has slowed down. They've settled into this position. They're just going to hold this map control, hold this space for now.
I'm playing Rooster's game against them.
Exactly.
A slow style. Two players set up here on the A side. You got Chell and TJP ready to work in tandem. Nice crossfire, and Chell typically pretty handy on these pistol rounds. So heading in this direction could be fraught with danger for Fury. That said, they've got a lot of util. They've still got 2 smokes, 2 flashes. So there's got to be some kind of plan here. There's got to be some kind of idea. What are they going to do with it? Are they going to just set up a wall of smokes on the front of the A site and try and get a bomb plant down? Maybe Chell going to try and get out in front of that, already eating a bink, and then he goes round onto long, eats another one, and so already taken out of the picture. The rest of the job falls on the shoulders of Slimy, who's pretty handy himself. 2 for him, 2 for TJ, and it just goes up in smoke, unfortunately, for Fury. Skull will be unceremoniously decapitated by Slimy. 7-6, Rooster start with the CT pistol.
Yeah, I saw Skull Hunter down in connected. I thought maybe there's an opportunity. They faced a little bit of contact, hasn't really gone their way. Are they just going to turn hill, pivot, maybe switch up a little bit? But no, they decided to really commit to this. They move everyone up, and unfortunately, you know, the flashes are okay, but Slimy just all cylinders firing and looking pretty good. Good way to kick it off. Deny almost everything that you could want. So once again, single deagle all that's available. They have got a smoke this time, but a single smoke feels like a very tiny band-aid on a very large wound here. Once again, go for a little bit of aggression up towards A. Can be a bit of a battle with Chell here. Chell's going to win that out. Lovely reactions. Spots his head back up, peeks up, doesn't see anything. Maybe a little bit of misinformation because there's been a little bit of an opportunity for them to work a player over towards quad here.
Yeah. Just a Glock, though, for Cheeseball. So don't imagine that even in an advanced position like this one, he's going to have too much success. It doesn't look like Rooster's going to over-invest in this round either. Chell's going to go have a little bit of a look, but aside from that, which is just an MP9, not too much going through here. Cookie, if he gets a headshot, oh, he could get a kill on a Chell. It's not going to happen. So that MP9 is doing a lot of damage, and the round is, as a result, starting to fall apart for Fury.
Yeah, nothing really to do here. Now that you know exactly where they are, they're just going to push 80k on all sides. There's nowhere for him to back out. Runs out of bullets, has to switch to the sidearm, but Shell's there. And it hurts because they've got the read on Shell. They've got the read that there's very real possibility they're going to get flagged. Unfortunately, though, close range with the MP9, you're not winning that fight. You're not even coming out of that looking clean. But 8-6... it's just eco round. Now there's going to be guns coming on out, but it's not going to be much of a bonus that they're going up against. It's just the MP9 that's a real weakness in the arsenal here.
We'll see where Terry ends up with that one. Might not even necessarily be a weakness if it's used effectively. Yeah, looks like he's going to be holding close by Monster, so... yeah, perfectly adequate position for the MP9. You got 4 players on this B bomb side as well, set up for Rooster. So very much anticipating some aggression in this direction from Fury, and it seems like they're going to be rewarded.
It's a lovely read to stack B like this. Up close, we said, Terry, it's not going to be a disadvantage. Gets the first and everyone else activates off the back. It feels so rushed trying to pull on in. There's no ripcord that they can pull. And the first gun round is swept away in the bat of an eye.
Yep. Yeah, and that MP9 puts a good use. Obviously, Terry goes down, but no harm, no foul.
Good money.
All rifles across the board now for Rooster. And for Fury, they are going to have to wait it out. And as you can see, things have quite significantly slowed down for Fury now that they're on the T side. Now that Cookie's maybe cooled off a little bit, obviously a bit harder for him to, A, get the AWP in hand after losing the pistol. And even if he did get the AWP, have the same effectiveness on the T side as what he did on CT side, and I think that's where this is going to start to come apart for Fury. They've been propped up by his stellar first half, but to imagine that he's going to be able to replicate that here in the second, I don't think is necessarily a particularly wise prediction, let's say. And yeah, it's slipping away pretty quickly here from Fury, as this should be the 10th. Chell, he like winding that one up. He was doing a little spin, getting it all sorted. He set himself up for a 4K. That was like a little power-up move.
That was just immense combo going on there.
Look at this. What is that wiggle?
Good for good luck. The wiggle for good luck.
Yeah.
And it absolutely pays off in spades. I mean, stellar sequence coming on out there. Yeah, it's a difficult one. As you're saying, Cookie, incredible first half. Really need some of the others who maybe got a little bit of a freebie pass in that first half to step on up. Cheeseball, Skull Hunter, who was pretty good on those opening picks, holding them off of B, but not finding quite the same level of impact. Opportunity for them to go, you know what, you've done your job, mate, cool off. We'll take the reins for a sec and try and lead the charge here. But the issue is, everywhere they peek, they are just being met with aggression. And look at that lovely peek on over. Chell demolishes Cheeseball.
Yep. They were looking for that one for a little while. Chell had a few chances, let's say. He jumped up on that railing a few times and inevitably got what he was looking for. So that'll be another awkward start for Fury as they're down 5-on-4 and don't have a whole lot of territory to work with. They've cleared out connector at least, and now it's time to start having a look at bathrooms. No one from Rooster really too interested in holding forward in a round like this one, particularly in a 5-on-4.
Ooh, lovely shot from Cookie. We said he was cooling down. That's the way to get back into this. Utah goes over the flashes. Perfect. Skull Hunter will find the pick. Bomb will go down. Except TJP is trying to run it on down and will not be punished for it, at least not initially. There is a trade from ADK, and that's going to buy them the opportunity to actually try and get it down this time. Now, how do they try claw this one back?
Well, it's not going to be easy, 3-on-2, especially with Terry low. Could honestly just be a save angle here for Rooster. I wonder if they're going to respect Fury enough to do that. Can see that they're kind of hanging around, hoping that maybe they can dig ADK out of this truck position. ASAP slowly creeping his way forward. They're really trying to find this pick, but time has ticked, you would think, a little bit too far away from Rooster, even if they were to get that kill. And so in the end, reckons an ADK will finish it off, and that's the first round on the T side for Fury. Yeah, like you said, comes off the back of Cookie's AWP. So this is now, Cookie with the AWP. It's a bit of a different beast maybe than Cookie without the AWP. Let's see if he can replicate some of that success here going forward.
Yeah, a difficult one at the end there is that realistically it gets to a point where you want to save, cut your losses, but maybe sunken cost fallacy, they'd spent too much time, they just wanted to get rid of ADK. He'd been toying and teasing with them, but the issue is that they can't get him out, and he's sort of the pivot point for the rest of that site hold. You can't get him out, and by trying to do so, you peek into everybody else. And yeah, I would have liked to see the back away there, but just too committed to it. Cookie waiting for a peek, knows they've been particularly eager on this boost. ASAP gonna work his way on under, just gonna keep his head tucked low. Shots ring out, and he's gonna have to now be wary that any line of sight from connector could be to his demise. Skull Hunter's gonna demolish, eat that nade up. A lot of damage, but still not able quite to confirm a kill yet.
ASAP. Precarious position here if he's cleared correctly, but very well aware that there is a player coming in from connector and pivots at the right time to get rid of Skull. Which throws a bit of a spanner in the works here for Fury. They're going to drop ADK off down at Monster Tunnel, maybe give Reckons a bit of space to have a look at what's happening on A. He's not seen too much, and so Fury are going to start to reroute their way down towards that B bomb site, and then... where?
Still hanging around.
30 seconds left on the clock. It doesn't look like they're going to commit to either side at the moment, but I guess it's going to have to be B now. 25 seconds, they've got to go somewhere.
Yeah, and they've got enough forces down here, but the issue is this is a pretty stacked site. They're going to have nothing go wrong. Flash goes out, but it's not going to do anything. ADK still manages to find the pick, however. Somebody's back site, and they've got a smoke for Sniper's Nest. It's going to give them an opportunity. ASAP, anything you can find here is a miracle, or even just trying to stay anonymous for now. He's going to tuck one down, but not a foot to present. Utility left, right, and center. He's just hiding for his life.
He hasn't made any noise just yet, so he is going to be the X factor, like you say. If he could maybe have found a pick. Now some steps coming through. He's going to have to start to activate shortly. Chell for 1, ASAP for 2, and he'll make it a third easily onto ADK, who was low. That patience rewarded for ASAP as he picks up a 4K in that round. It was looking a little bit awkward for a moment there for Rooster when that opening pick came through in the Monster Tunnel, but yeah, ASAP just holding on to that space, most importantly, allows an easy rotate in for Rooster, and 11-7. They're not having any troubles at the moment.
No, ASAP goes down there, or ASAP peaks too early and only finds one. That whole round falls apart. As you said, it was looking a little bit shaky. But the fact that he's able to call reinforcements over, that they don't even suspect that he's down there. They've thrown enough util. If he was there, he would have been flushed out. No, and he can be that key linchpin for the retake coming on in. But again, relying a little bit on the individual there. But if it works, it works. If A broke, don't fix it. And now B site completely overwhelmed, but it's over towards A they start to head. Slowly but surely, it's going to be Slimy taking first point of contact. Shay decides to back away a little bit, call over some help. Chell's going to be the one to rotate on up. Just in
Slimy,
time.
he's, a little bit on his own at the moment, but that rotation coming through should be able to assist him. He's hearing a lot of footsteps. Well positioned here if he doesn't have to watch his behind, and in the end, well, he gets all that he needs. Just the one, but TJP and Chell striking as well mean that this is a favorable enough trade for Rooster. Bomb retrieved though for Fury. They don't actually have to commit to this A site. Chell's definitely looking for it. Oh, he has a sneaking suspicion he's got Cookie stuck in the corner, and he will be right. ASAP. Easy as you like. Gets the kill on the Cookie. And then finishes off ADK as well. 12 up on the board, and it would seem that we are coming to a fairly swift close this evening.
Yeah, I mean, the decision to rotate Chell up and the fact that he gets there just in time and does mean that he can watch his teammate on Divider's back. You know, Slimy is not able to go anywhere near as crazy if he doesn't have that little bit of backup. And then ASAP just at the end there. Beautifully done. And as you said, it looks like it's coming to a close. There will be a buy here. It's going to be missing a lot of utility on a couple of these players. Just Cookie and Reckons. But when you're up against the wall and you've got Galils, you've got Mac 10s, it's far from ideal. It's going to need to be something really punchy to try and make this work. Something quick. Because they're not going to have the ability. If this round drags out, they're not going to have the longevity to keep this going with this arsenal.
Doesn't look like Rooster are going to allow them to do anything too quick. There was the instant monster molly, and now one on short as well. So Fury have had to bide their time. It's certainly not going to be a rush. Ooh, great nade stack. Terry's dead. So that's the start that you'd want. See if they can follow it up.
Instantly, just everyone on this site. There's no point waiting around. You know they've got to rush on ASAP with 2. TJP wants to get his name into the hat there. It's a little bit messy, but he finds it. Reckons has got one of his own. Doubles down, and suddenly it's just Slimy left. But they have no idea that he's still here.
Oh, it's so free. Slimy picks up 2. ADK and Reckons, like you said, they have been swindled. He just sat and waited at the toxic barrels and said, thank you very much. We'll pick up the map win. And in turn, obviously, the series win here as well for Rooster, as they did get that forfeit win on map 1. So probably not the day at the office that Fury really wanted. They have now been eliminated from Cup number 3 of Oceania. This was a lower bracket match, and that'll be Rooster progressing to the lower bracket final awaiting the loser of Semperfi and Mind Freak, which will be a match that's coming up tomorrow, I believe. So very, very tough ask, I think, for Fury to make it through a matchup like this one, especially against a Rooster that's just come back from ESL Pro League.
Yeah, you learn so much on LAN, and you see it. There's an immediate and noticeable spike in performance in the majority of teams after being on LAN at LAN. The LAN buff, very real. And they've had a lot of opportunities, we said earlier, to scrim better teams. And you can tell they're just sort of feeling it. You got to give credit, though, Cookie did everything he could and more. I mean, he's owed a spa day. A little bit of a massage for the carry that he tried to provide there. But sadly, just not quite enough. A couple of players maybe a little bit slower to warm up into the mechanical department today. But, I mean, coming up against a Rooster that's looking like that, you can't really blame them. That's going to be another tally on the board, another victory in the Rooster versus Fury sort of rivalry over the past couple of months. And they're just looking pretty clean.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the big takeaway really is less so the fact that Rooster have beaten Fury and more so the fact that they've done it reasonably comfortably. And if we expect to see the same thing again against Mind Freak in what you would imagine would be the lower bracket final, you know, that will set themselves up with some pretty good confidence heading into a match against Semperfi. And that's really like, I think all of this in Oceania at the moment is largely irrelevant. Apart from the Rooster versus Semperfi game, we kind of are just getting a bit of a feel of, you know, what's the relative strength of Rooster, what's the relative strength of Semperfi at this stage, because both of those teams are very much expected to just run through the rest of this competition. And, well, the rest of the competition amounts to, at this stage, Mind Freak. You know, they're the only team not named Rooster or Semperfi that's still alive in this cup. And, I mean, they're an exciting team, they're an interesting team, but they're still quite a fresh team. And so, not expecting them to necessarily trouble either Semperfi or Rooster all that much. So yeah, just trying to get a bit of a power gauge of where Rooster is at. Do we think they can beat Semperfi? Well, that'll be a question that we have to answer a little bit later on down the track.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. That should be an absolutely incredible matchup. We say, assuming that we get there, we're making a lot of assumptions about what should and is likely to happen here. But as you said, Mind Freak, you know, who knows, maybe something, a diamond in the rough. They're still sort of gelling together a little bit here. But you know what? I think quite a good matchup there for my first dip into the ocean, I guess I should say. You know, what more can I expect then? What more can I expect? Because I've watched Rooster now. Versus Mind Freak, maybe versus Semperfi. What did you think maybe is a staple of the O scene that we haven't really seen too much today?
Well, I mean, I guess the thing for you is going to be, I think you're coming back on the 17th, is that right?
Yeah.
So that will be the final day. That will be the grand final of Cup number 3. So again, you probably will expect to see less of a, let's say, one-sided affair in the sense that I think, generally speaking, we kind of got into that second half and we said, well, Rooster are pretty much just going to win this game from this point on. But going into that Semperfi match, if it is the Semperfi versus Rooster match, you know, it will be a little bit more switched on, I think, from both teams, right? Like the firepower will definitely increase. Semperfi, a very, very strong team in the aim department in comparison to a lot of the Oceanic teams. I think a lot of the time, you know, we do kind of just see these games won and lost on an individual basis when it's Semperfi versus X or Rooster versus X. But when it's Rooster versus Semperfi, then it becomes a little bit more than just that. You know, both teams are equally skilled. And, it comes down to a little bit more, you know, how are these rounds playing out, whereas I think in this instance, a lot of it, again, does come down to, oh, ASAP has just got a 4K from the B-bomb side anchoring. Like, that doesn't necessarily happen quite as much as what you'd see in the game against Semperfi, but that's something that I think we can talk about when we get there on Thursday.
Exactly, but that is going to be it from us today. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. It's been an absolute blast to be here. It's been an absolute blast to cast with you as well, Elfish Guy, but that is going to be us saying goodbye for now. See you guys tomorrow for a whole load more games, whole load more action. See you very soon.
ESL presents ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, Acer Predator, DHL, and Qiddiya.
going till my speakers come blow. I'll keep going till my speakers come blow. I'll keep going till my speakers come blow. I'll keep going till my I'll keep going till my I'll keep go till my speakers come. I'll keep going till my speakers come blow. 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 Going till my speakers come blow. I'll keep going till my speakers come blow. I'll keep going till my speakers come blow. I'll keep going till my I'll keep going till my I'll keep go till my speakers come. I'll keep going till my speakers come blow. 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 I'll keep going till my speakers come blow.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been tested so much, all these wrestlers nice. All these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a Benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of all my feet when I touch the ground. Front of 8 at Beijing, man, they know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and roll, Lex account a blue face. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brother since 6th grade. G-Wagon red seats, we on Biscayne.